It's on Game Pass, so maybe I will now that I'm a Phil Spencer shill.
Good old shill Spencer.
How dare you? No, he's not a shill. I'm the shill for Phil Spencer.
No, you're one of his shill Spencers.
Oh, is that what we call ourselves? Are we groupies?
That's what I'm calling you.
Ah, nice. Am I just ripping my shirt off every time I see him, dude? Be like, we love you, Phil. Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm Ethan, and as always, I'm joined by my good friends Hunter and Kyle. Hey, guys, how you doing?
I'm doing just swell.
I bought a sword.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah.
What's it called, Kyle?
It's called... So, audio listeners, this is a replica of Virgil's Yamato from Devil May Cry.
There you go.
I think Should we pull back the curtain on this?
Yeah, I think we 100% should, because this feels fake as anything. We literally just recorded the intro and OBS crashed on us, so that's the first time that's happened in HGO history, so round of applause, everybody. First time for everything, like 95 episodes.
I mean, to be fair, with the way I asked you, it could have been that you said it wrong some other time, and I was just harassing you about it.
Yeah. So if you can just picture a universe, where we asked Kyle what the sword was called, he said Monado, we then laughed at him for saying Monado, and then OBS crashed, then congratulations, you're living in our timeline. Well done.
I think the reason why I got it mixed up is, one, they sound similar, and two, Xenoblade has a thing called the replica Monado near the end of the game.
Yeah.
All right, that one.
Maybe that's what I'm going to blame it on.
Maybe you're just too big of a nerd.
Not just me having I woke up at 4 a.m. brain.
No, don't we all have that brain, I feel like, nowadays? How are you guys 2022 getting off to? How's your 22 going, guys? 2022?
22, yeah.
My 22 was spent in quarantine, so I don't know. I don't know how
so was my same. So was my 23. Yeah, you know, I'm just sitting here, just like losing my 20s, just like like done, because hey, that's how it is. But how is your 2022
Imagine a
going?
bunch of us just popping off, like doing a whole bunch of craziness when we turned 30 because we were locked inside.
Watch the Zoomers rise up, dude. It's like we're claiming back our territory. Begone, boomers. This is our turn. Like, whatever the next thing is after Zoomers, we're like, wait in line, bitch. This is our land. Like, wait your
it's
turn.
Our turn on the ride.
We're going fucking crazy at 35 and you can't stop us. We missed part of our 20s, damn it. But no, how is your 2022 going?
It's going all right, I guess, you know, like it was a week that existed.
You see, like, it's been exhausting. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like everybody is like, oh, you have Christmas off, you know, it's like a nice time. You basically do fuck all. You literally lie about, get fat, and, you know, just sit there and sigh for 2 weeks. That's basically your job during the holidays, right? And then there you go. New Year happens. Let's be real. Who gives a shit about New Year? And then it's like, you have that no man's land period of like January 2nd and 3rd where all is like quiet, nothing is happening. Then as soon as January 4th comes out, everybody that ever knows you is like busting down your door. FBI, open up, time to do something, bitch. Whether it's work or just anything. It's just like, why does the world just go back? It's like January 4th, world goes crazy.
It is weird. Although I will say that this week was a marked improvement. I came down with, I don't know, the Victorian wasting sickness or something last week.
Like, Hunter's clothing just has that in it. It's been around on this planet for so long. It's just living there.
Like when I was in high school and middle school, I had like this perpetual cough that wouldn't go away that just disappeared when I entered adulthood, and like it returned last week for no reason. I was like, ugh.
I think it kind of did either during or just after the podcast. I think I remember you coughing quite a bit after the podcast was recorded. And you were like...
Oh, it was before that, actually, because like the whole week I was like, ugh.
You did a good job of hiding it.
Recording my video was a chore that way. The narration for that.
Oh, yeah, because you did
the
your
video
top
turned
10,
out nicely, though.
Oh, really? You can't tell I was sick?
No, I couldn't.
Not really, no.
Awesome.
I mean, the only thing that was sick was your choices. Disgusting, Hunter. How dare you?
Yeah. Go watch to find out. youtube.com/Reaper123.
Yeah, dude,
What
you
a
put
plug.
Deathloop way too low on that list.
Yeah,
It
not
didn't
high
appear.
enough. Not high enough.
Exactly, it got robbed.
You know, I was watching a part of Jeff Grubb's GameSpeak podcast where they did the 2022. Only other industry outlet that I've seen that just shat on Deathloop because only Jeff Grubb had it in his top 10. The other 3 people disliked that game. I was like, where were you when September happened? Why?
Oh, that's amazing.
But no, it's been a bit of a busy start to
It reminds me of like the inverse of Kind of Funny's 2020 thing where where Imran had The Last of Us at like 10 and everyone else had it at like their top 3, but it messed up their like score.
Yeah, well, just like everything that Kind of Funny does, it all has to feel slightly arbitrary in how it works, you know? It's like anybody else with like top 10, you either have individual top 10s or you start throwing abuse at each other and start like fighting it out to get yours on top. Whereas they go, well, you guys have put them at number 2, but this person's put it at number 10, so fortunately it lands at number 8. Like, okay, like, why are we doing this with maths? I just thought we were just having fun opinions here and probably saying something to annoy the other people to get your result higher. I thought that's how it worked. That was just me. Yeah. But we hope that your 22 is going off to a good start so far. I nearly said it again. I can't stop saying it. I'm just like 22. But yeah. It's been a bit of a crazy one. It's been a bit of a crazy one in terms of news stories as well. Do you want to talk about some of this stuff? Because it feels like I say, doors have been kicked. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, just the door got kicked with 2 words, Days Gone, and then an abbreviation with NFT, I guess. So, I don't know. What do you want to start with?
I did think it was funny how... So, we recorded the HGAs on the 31st of December. Day after Square Enix goes on, their president's just like, hey guys, we're looking to get into NFTs, and we're like, well, here's a front runner for shittest company 2022.
It's like they already started.
One of the most famous games stars a group of eco-terrorists as the protagonists.
Yeah, basically.
And they're doing this unironically.
Yeah,
it just made me laugh because it's like I just gave them my Game of the Year award for Life is Strange. Essentially, I know it was Deck 9 and they only published it, but still, you know, they're the publisher behind it. We had spent a load of time during the HGAs giving them praise, talking about how excited we are for Forspoken and FF16, and then here comes the director of fucking Square Enix marching on up to his platform, literally like not even 12 hours after we had fucking recorded this episode. And he was like, yo, gamers, what about them NFTs though? And I'm like,
that's what I woke up to on January 1st.
Some people play games to have fun, and some people play to contribute.
Oh, it was like...
What does that even mean? Make a Mario Maker game, then. Screw off.
Dude, I'm a contributor, thank you very much. I love to contribute. You know, like, yeah, it's honestly, NFT bros are quite possibly the worst people on the internet right now. Like, I genuinely despise them. If I see another ugly fucking monkey pixel art on my timeline, I swear
that's so
I'm gonna...
bad. Why? Why are these baby's first pixel art monkeys valued heavy quotes? Because
I mean, they're not. It's literally
it disappears as soon as the person
themselves.
decides to bounce. As
honestly,
it's happened a few times.
Honestly,
comedically enough.
The fucking monkeys are so dumb because it's like, I just don't, they look ugly. I'm like, who are they convincing?
They're so bad.
Because what are the two what are the two NFT bro kind of things? They're like, oh, we're all about, you know, holding value of our digital goods. That's the one thing. It's a fucking monkey. Why does it have value? They literally copied and pasted and changed some of the fucking... They literally added color filters on Photoshop, and there you go, different monkey. This one's red now. Like, it was like... and the other one's like, we're trying to give digital art value. I'm like, what? By having copy and pasting shitty monkeys and putting them on the blockchain? I'm like,
the market instead of like, I don't know, paying an artist that's good at what they do.
Yeah. I mean, and then getting back to like the Square Enix thing and just gaming NFTs in general, because like this is like the third company or something ridiculous, right? That have come out and been like, "Yo, guys, NFTs."
Ubisoft tried. Ethan bought me one for Christmas.
Something yesterday.
Konami. Oh, don't even get me started.
For Castlevania's anniversary.
Yeah.
God.
Oh my
did
God.
you see those?
The life of a
so
Castlevania fan is suffering.
That's
Dude,
so
if
bad,
and when
though.
they do this for Metal Gear Solid and Silent Hill, I swear to God, I'm gonna commit misdemeanors.
I can't even. That's the thing, though. It's like they didn't even do a good job. Have you seen them? They're like bits of like footage that they've taken from trailers and shit. I'm like, I could just go to YouTube and watch that. It's like it's not even anything substantial. It's literally just, yo,
So
guys,
stupid.
we took our trailers and here you go.
Limited Run did a better job at celebrating the series with
Honestly.
their whole shebang that they're doing.
Honestly, it's like I just don't get it. And it's like you hear all these people being like, "Oh yeah, but you want your things to hold value or whatever." It's like, "Oh yeah, because I'm sure that like you're gonna go and buy a gun in Call of Duty, right? You're gonna go get that NFT, and then you're gonna march up to Ubisoft stores, and I'm sure they're gonna be with open arms, gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna spend time and money programming that gun that you bought from Activision into our video game so that you can." I'm like, "What is this shit?" Like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm like, "What? Who the fuck is this for? Like, who cares?"
This makes me really glad that I'm not in college anymore. Because I was a computer science student, and I was hearing people talk about cryptocurrency, and I'm like, you guys are very dumb. And I don't understand the point of what you're talking about.
Don't get me wrong, I'm sure that eventually, if the planet doesn't explode first, we will eventually reach a point where we're like using Empire credits or something. But we're a far off way from that.
There's going to be some dystopian future where we're all spending V-Bucks on food, and it's just like, you're just going to cry, really, aren't you? You're just going to be it's like actually tragic. And I hate it because I feel like the thing that sucks is it's such a small audience that care about any NFTs, but they're so fucking vocal. It's so annoying.
Yeah. They're so vocal, and they're so willing to be stupid with their money.
Well, it's not even that, right? It's like, I think I saw something on Twitter where it was like, there's only like 300,000 people who own NFTs. Like, it's a really small number of people, and a lot of it's in trading. So all these really expensive NFTs that are going around are like, for example, when a celebrity gets an NFT and they're like, I'm jumping in on the hype, guys. It's just someone giving them the NFT for publicity. And then other things are people buying their own NFTs for a lot of money to make it look like they have value. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what a great fraud scheme this is, dude. Like, genuinely. And then you just got Ubisoft and Square Enix just marching up going, hey, did someone say fraud? I want in on that. You heard about Final Fantasy? Dude, let's go.
Dude, I can't wait for the Xenogears NFTs to come out.
Dude, I can't. Yeah.
My soul just dies.
Which one of you wants to buy this flash drive with 8 million Reaper points on it?
Oh, dude. I'll put my bid in right now. I'm just like, I can't wait for the Kingdom Hearts world where it's like, they're doing the whole like, hearts on non-fungible token Sora. And it's like the data world just becomes NFTs, and it's like, oh god.
Didn't they kind of do that with Baymax and his like digital heart?
Yeah, dude, literally super early. That wasn't it. He was an NFT. Maybe we'll find out in Kingdom Hearts 4, I guess. But no,
is Nomura a prophet?
I sure hope not.
The answer is yes.
It's not the prophet I really want to know about, to be honest. Like, I don't want
I'd prefer Kojima personally.
Yeah. I agree, man. The whole NFT thing has kind of been absolutely tragic. The internet's just been like a garbage fire recently, It's like,
dude, couldn't even wait a week for things to get
genuinely
with the video games.
Like literally day after we record, 1st of January, Square Enix CEO shows up praising NFTs and shit. You've got Konami doing the same thing, and then you've got this whole like Ghost of Tsushima feud that the games journalists have been having a fucking field day with. It's like,
yeah, what's been going on with that?
Yeah, Hunter, you explain it, because I feel like if I do it, I'm gonna burst a blood vessel again.
So I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but one of the Days Gone like
I'll have a look.
lead. Yeah, one of the Days Gone leads when Ghost of Tsushima hit 8 million sales, I believe. There was like a celebration. Ghost of Tsushima hit 8 million sales, and he responded to that being like, they made us feel like when Days Gone hit 8 million that it was a failure.
Jeff Ross is his name.
Jeff Ross, yeah.
And he was the previous lead on Days Gone. and he's now left Sony. Important to say.
Hmm.
But basically the story was Ghost of Tsushima's been praised. It's not just that like news outlets were going, hey, Ghost of Tsushima sold 8 million, great job. It was the fact that Jim Ryan on stage during the latest conference where they talked about PSVR 2 and stuff like that, they announced the name for PSVR 2. Wow, what a shocker. Could have guessed it.
Who would have guessed?
Sony's classic
that brought you the PlayStation 2.
Would you prefer the Xbox and Nintendo approach where they just go for random adjectives and go, there we go, there it is?
It depends. Like, GameCube is what it says on the box, you know?
Yeah, but but also so does PS2. It's the second PlayStation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have anything to do with the shape, but...
the Xbox One doesn't.
Yeah, that's the Xbox 3, and then now we're on the Series, and I'm like, okay, you do you, Xbox, cool.
You can't wait until we get the Xbox rebooted.
It's just the Xbox again, yeah. Going back to our roots. But no, it's the whole idea that Ghost of Tsushima is being praised for selling 8 million, and Days Gone, particularly the devs at Sony Bend, were told by Sony internally, were basically being treated like the game was a massive failure, when in reality, it has sold similar units to Ghost of Tsushima has at this current day. Because the whole thing here's the more interesting thing. Is his name? What was his name? Jeff Ross. Yeah, Jeff Ross.
Jeff Ross.
He
yes.
even said that he doesn't even know the sales figures for his own game because Sony doesn't tell their own studios what the current sales figures are. He was basing it off of online databases and stuff like that. So it's somewhere between 7.6 and 8.2 million units. He doesn't even know how many units it sold. Because
that's a little messed up.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Tell you.
They don't tell you unless you achieve a great milestone. And it's like, it caused this whole debate because people are like, why is Days Gone being treated like a failure from Sony? Why is Ghost of Tsushima being touted as a success? To be fair, selling 8 million units of anything is basically a success. Well done.
Yeah.
It's done a great job.
Mm-hmm. Sure, 8 million means different things to different projects, but these were both new IP from a big studio, so, you know, comparably, they should both be treated as successes.
Yeah. And it goes to that question of, does Sony only care about the Metacritic score? Because that's the only real difference between it. Because people can make the argument of, oh, Ghost of Tsushima was better received. But my argument, because I saw some people like Kind of Funny were doing that, where it was like they were suggesting that Days Gone had bigger expectations, which no, it fucking didn't.
Yeah.
But it's like this expectations versus reality where the people are it's the critical reception, because the fan reception for Days Gone, fair play to it. It's got fucking high.
It found an audience.
It found 8 million fucking people.
Yeah, it didn't review like as glamorously as Horizon or God of War did before it, but it people like it. People played it and enjoyed it.
I mean, if anything, it's more of a testament
I would have
to that
bought
game.
A second game if they made it.
It's more of a testament to that game's word of mouth and how positive the fan reception was the fact that without the high Metacritic scores of a game like Ghost, of God of War, and with it being a new franchise, that it sold that well with having a low 80s, high 70s Metacritic score. That's really well done. Like, I'm not saying that, oh wow, the worst Sony game should we should be treating it like it's the best thing ever, because I haven't played it, right? I've seen little bits and pieces, and I've seen that it was a very glitchy mess, especially at launch.
Yeah, it's a very okay game. Like, I wouldn't.
So was the first Assassin's Creed, right? So was the first Assassin's Creed. They gave them a second shot. I honestly think Sony has its hand too far up its own arse to the point where it's like, only 90s, please. If it's not a 90 on Metacritic or a high 80, we don't care. They're like, so up their own arse.
I know.
They're too bothered about the critical reception. And say what you want about Days Gone, whether it's a good game or not. I'm like, people making the comparisons of Ghost of Tsushima having lesser expectations, not true. Sucker Punch has always been a great studio for Sony, so they were probably expecting big things. And people act as if Samurai Assassin's Creed was something that was a niche audience that people weren't going to be into.
When people have been asking for that exact thing from Assassin's Creed for years.
They literally took the one era that everyone was like, please, Ubisoft, just make a Japanese like Samurai Assassin's Creed game, like ninja like kind of thing. And they never did. And Sucker Punch was like, hold my beer, I guess we'll do it. Yeah. And then Like people
It's
are
like,
trying to
but Days
argue.
Gone had higher expectations because it was zombies and motorcycles.
No, because the fad was already over in 2018 when it came out. Was it 2018 or was it 2019? 2017? Was it 2019? Even later.
2019. Yeah.
Even later.
So, like, I'm sure that internally, maybe they were expecting this to be a hit when it was pitched.
Yeah.
You know, like when, zombies were at their peak and when Sons of Anarchy was regrettably airing on TV and all of that. But by the time that it came out, if they still held those same expectations, that is foolish.
It's one of those things where I feel like a lot of people right now don't understand that expectations shift over time. Where people are expecting that the day one pitch was their expectations. I'm sure when Days Gone was first shown off at E3 and it had that mediocre reception where people really didn't care about it, if they did have really high expectations, their expectations probably shifted drastically from that first showing because they realized people weren't into it. If they had low expectations for Ghost of Tsushima, why would they? But if they did, then when they saw the first trailer go out at Gamescom in like 2017, I think it was, 2017 or 2018. I think it was 2017. When they saw that first trailer go out and everyone like me was like fucking blown away by how good it looked and like how pretty the damn game was, their expectations probably rose up. It's like people are expecting that based on the pitch, that's it. That's their expectations are locked. No, things constantly shift.
And like if they didn't, then PlayStation is holding the same energy as like when Devil May Cry 4 came out and sold the best that the series had, and Capcom was like, that's not good enough, let's reboot it. So either way,
every time Tomb Raider comes out,
stupid.
Every time Tomb Raider comes out, it doesn't meet our expectations, and it's like, how? What do you keep doing with these expectations if you keep not meeting them?
Honestly, though.
Crazy. But no, it was such a weird, like I say, weird week of just everybody kind of losing
poor
their
Sony
shit.
Bend, man.
Yeah.
I hope that their next project turns out well for them.
Yeah, I do too.
They've always been in the shadow of someone else in a lot of what they've made, and like I said, I thought Days Gone was all right. I can't remember the nuts and bolts of what Siphon Filter was like, but I remember playing and enjoying it when I was a child. So,
yeah,
like,
who knows?
It'd be nice to see them get their due.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just like, I think it's just the way that they've been treated, to be honest, because yeah, even if, didn't get the critical reception, sold 8 million copies, whatever, even if you want to excuse all that shit, it's the way that they've been treated, ever since.
Yeah.
It's having that IP and being told, no, not good enough, go work on an Uncharted game, no, then they didn't want to work on, oh, can we work on something else? Okay, I guess you deserve to work on something else, but you can't work on that IP that you've already been working on to make better, make something else. And it's like, I just feel like they're getting the shaft, to be honest, where everyone else is kind of being praised. And it's like, it's going to be interesting, though, because Sony Bend are going to be the only real Sony first-party studio from the big, like, ones. I'm not talking about the smaller ones, like the VR teams or Pixel Opus, right, who did Concrete Genie. I'm not talking about those. But they're going to be the only developer, really, that are going to be solely focusing on, hopefully, a new IP, is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Because everyone else is going to be having a case of sequelitis this console generation with new Spider-Mans,
Horizon,
new God of Wars, new Horizons.
Insomniac's making a Wolverine game, so
and I'm sure
that's something new.
Guerrilla's apparently working on another project, and so is Santa Monica. They're working on these other projects, but especially at the moment, it's a very sequel-heavy kind of outlook from PlayStation Studios. So I'm sure Astro's getting a sequel as well. And it's like, I just hope that they actually get some like positivity from their next release, because Jesus, I don't want to see another world where they get even like this. Is too much hate for getting like a low 80 or high 70 on Metacritic, dude.
Especially when people ended up
worse.
liking it.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, like The Avengers continues to exist, for example.
People take game reviews too seriously because people think that a 70 is the end of the world. But it's like, how many people actually read reviews? Hardcore fans of the genre, or fans of a studio, or fans of a game, people looking forward to it, yeah, they might do. And for big releases, maybe like Last of Us or something on like a gigantic scale, might seep into like the public like consciousness. But most games, no one is going to look at the Metacritic score. The 100%, the reason that Days Gone went around, and the same reason that games like Horizon went around, was because of word of mouth from people. It was people like me or you, Hunter, that played Horizon on launch and went, that's fantastic. I'm going to tell my friends. The reason that my friends played Horizon was because they heard people like me sing its praises, not because they went on Metacritic and looked up a review score from IGN.
Yeah, or like even people who are slightly more savvy about this stuff don't always check reviews. For example, my two older brothers both bought Battlefield, the new one, and that's
After
got
all the
like
problems,
like that's got like a 65. But they're like, oh, some shooter we can play together, blah blah blah, and didn't look into it any further than it being that, I believe. So,
yeah, it's
also
crazy, man.
It also reminds me of when SMT5 came out and the whole internet was on fire about it. And by the way everyone was acting, you'd think it was the worst thing that ever came out. It got like an 82 on Metacritic or something.
And then here's the thing. You look at those reviews, and at the same time, if you actually ask someone who played it what they think, like even me, who didn't click with it, if someone said, hey, I like SMT, well, I like SMT5, I'm like, yeah, you probably will. Go and check it out. It's just one of those really stupid things where I think, again, people put too much kind of praise and put too much responsibility on review value on review outlets and reviews in general. Chances are you're going to have more opinions from your friends or from even just watching a gameplay video or someone, like, as stupid as it sounds, probably more people probably get their impressions on whether they'll like a game or not watching someone like Jacksepticeye play the first hour than they will watching an IGN review, because people watching IGN reviews only care about review scores and numbers.
Yeah, they skip to the end.
It's
like there's not a whole lot of people who do the approach of, oh, this person has opinions that are aligned with me. If they like it, I'll probably like it, kind of thing. Like a lot of people who are like looking at these reviews just kind of shotgun check all of the scores and like, ooh,
yeah,
7.8 out of 10. Too much water.
And people take that as if it's like a personal attack. At the same time, it's like it works both ways. People take reviews so sacredly that they just take it too personally. They take it as if a low review score is a personal attack on them because they've assigned a certain percentage of their personality to a brand or to a game series. And it's like, calm down, kids. And at the same time, Sony, calm down. You still got the sales. No need to fucking butcher an entire studio about it.
8 million is 8 million.
8 million is 8 million. And hey, it could be worse, you could be E3. You could be completely dead. I'm sure like Sony Ben's going to recover.
On life support, if nothing else.
Do you think E3 is ever going to come back, dude?
Oh, man, I don't know. Dude, so the problem is, if it does, it's going to... I don't know. I don't like where it's been. I don't like where it's been going. Like, I don't think like the replacements either, though, is the problem.
Yeah, I feel like this is the nail in the coffin because they haven't even confirmed a digital event. I think Jeff Keighley has basically taken E3 and gone, "Is this for me?" and has basically stolen it.
Hoppity, this is my property.
He genuinely has. Like Jeff Keighley fell out with them in 2019, and he has ever since COVID. He's basically used COVID as the chance to take it for himself. He's like, "Yeah, mine now. I'll take the digital presence," and because he's taken the digital presence and all of that stuff, E3's got nothing.
Yes, Hunter.
Yeah.
Jeff Keighley used COVID like the virus in V for Vendetta to take over the world.
Genuinely, except it's the world of video game announcements, dude, and previews. Because, like, the only thing that because E3 doesn't have a digital showcase this year, it definitely doesn't have it's not having a physical presence. It's like if Jeff Keighley takes review week, like preview week, which is basically when all of the review outlets go around to different studios in LA and check out the progress of all these games. If Jeff Keighley starts organizing that instead, and takes over all of that kind of side as well, it's basically over. Like E3 will just be a commercial thing, and I think at that point, the magic's kind of gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's weird too because like this last year's E3 wasn't good.
But,
no, it wasn't.
And then it was just gone for 2020, right? Like it skipped entirely.
And I mean, say what you want about game mess, right? But it's like, it keeps people like us on our toes in a way, because not everything's happening at once. So it kind of, as much as I did like the whole E3 moments of us kind of sitting around playing Uno between conferences and waiting for this hell on earth that is like 2 days of non-stop conferences back to back, like to go through it with everybody was fun. The idea of having PlayStation do something in early May, having Xbox show up in early June, having Nintendo show up a bit later, having them all kind of separated gives everybody a chance to shine, and at the same time, it makes it more exciting in a way. Because having that bombardment of reveal, announcement, Nintendo doing something you don't want, having all that, like, that kind of mass, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, you're being like, what's the word?
Sensory overload.
Sensory overload. Thank you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's like that sensory overload of all of those releases. Kind of everything just muddles together, and you just remember the like 2 or 3 things. Whereas, like last year, I can almost remember everything that happened during most of them, like with State of Play. It's like, I can remember the God of War trailer that they showed. I can remember when they showed that second look of Horizon with the fucking dinosaur on the beach. I can remember, them showing off some of the indie titles that they've been working on. I can remember when Nintendo fucking showed up with all this shit everyone was expecting, and then Hunter pulled out Metroid out of his arse, and that happened,
My one regret is that I had work for that reaction of all of them. I wish I had been there.
It's like, I remember all of that stuff. Whereas, like, at E3, I don't remember what usually happened. I remember, like, 2 or 3 things from each conference. And it's like, if that.
The problem with the whole sensory overload, Keighley seems to be the one replacing it, and he's not any better about tempering sensory overload, because I only ever remember 2 or 3 things from everything he ever does too.
Yeah, but to be fair, he only has opening night live or whatever in August is like the end of the summer game mess, right? You at least have the actual conferences at the start that know what they're doing, and then Jeff shows up at the end going, maybe I have Elden Ring, who knows? Find out, bitch. Maybe I'll bring a fucking pot onto stage like I did
Elden
at the Game
Ring
Awards.
And 500 showings of Warhammer games that all look the same but are different.
If you bring, like, every time next time that he does a thing, I'm going to do like a drinking game of take a shot every time Jeff Keighley has a world premiere that's a fucking Warhammer game. Dude, like, genuinely. The amount of times where it's like, oh, world premiere, and as soon as I see like that kind of armor, the kind of armor I'm talking about. You see like a glimpse of it, and you're like, oh, here we fucking go. Here it is. It's Warhammer 40k Tales of Timmy. I'm like, great, another one.
A couple of years ago, my brother bought this strategy game and played it for an unreasonable amount of time. Actually, he slept for most of the time he was playing it, to give you an idea. It was called Mordheim, City of something, or City of the Dead or something.
We got this from our role-playing game that we were playing in the office.
Yeah, precisely. I didn't realize that it was apparently a Warhammer game, and for years I just clowned him about how boring this game seems to be, and how he even sleeps during a lot of times when he turns it on. Yeah. And then, like, he pointed out, then, like, seeing it on the store one day as I was passing through a sale, I'm like, oh, that's why.
I remember that. That's the game that was boring as shit. And then, like, Jeff Keighley's like, yo, I know where another 6 of those are, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What flavor of boredom do you want? I've got them all. In this pot that Bandai Namco gave us for Elden Ring. Yo, did you know I have Elden Ring, guys? Very cool. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like E3 has just like gone down the shitter, and in a way I'm kind of okay with it. Like, E3 is just an easy way of saying June at this point, Like, I feel like that's the gamer way of saying, oh, it's June, it's E3 time. And
very early June anyway.
Yeah. And, it's like, it's gamer Christmas, right? It's just like Christmas. You get starting to get hyped in January, 6 months out, you're already starting to get the hype. It builds up and it builds up. You hear rumors, you hear expectations. And then what happens? You go to sleep, you wake up on the day and you get severely disappointed as nothing that you wanted actually
you get
happens.
Mario Kart 9.
Mario Kart 9. Oh, God, that's real, isn't it? Fuck. Well, the rumors are
allegedly.
Didn't it? I swear all it said was like fucking something really arbitrary, like it'll have
Something
something
like
that's
with a
new that's never been
twist.
seen. But yeah, fucking
Yeah.
twist.
Mario Kart with a twist, and my favorite one that I saw was Mario Kart. But if you die in Mario Kart, you die in real life.
Like, I love that because that's like I could be an industry insider if that's all you have to fucking say. I can be like, Breath of the Wild 2 will have surprises you won't see coming. There you go.
Yeah.
I've just revealed that, guys. Put it out there. IGN, pick that story up.
Or you could just say something that like 4 other people are saying and be like, oh, but for real this time.
I'll just parrot it. Why not?
Yeah. Silent Hill this year. I promise it's this time.
Yeah, but the whole Mario Kart thing, it does.
Today.
I know it's today, exactly. It does bring up this kind of interesting conversation because some people are saying, like, I've heard different things. Some people, my favorite was someone said that what they're doing with Mario Kart 9 is essentially it's the Super Smash Bros. Of kart races, where they're bringing all of their, they're not just bringing Zelda and Splatoon and Animal Crossing, they're going to bring basically a large majority of their IP over and have them all as characters racing, right? My favorite part of that was that I was watching a YouTuber try to explain it, and he's like, I don't understand it. How can it be Super Smash Bros. And be Mario Kart? I'm like, fuck me. It doesn't mean literally.
Are you serious?
It means figuratively is in the roster, you dumbass.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I don't remember who it was, but I was just sitting there going, what kind of fucking smooth braids are we dealing with here?
Oh my.
Like, I'm just sitting here like, oh no, I can't take it. Why are YouTubers so dumb at times? I can't.
Like, honestly, though.
But the big question I wanted to ask you guys about Mario Kart 9, I guess, is do you think this is a Switch game? And by that, I mean, do you think this is spelling the end of, are we getting into late game Switch now? Is 2022 the last big year of Nintendo Switch? Are we looking at by the end of next year having a new Nintendo console? That's what I'm interested in. Because
that's funny. I've never really visualized the end of the Switch's
neither
life.
have I until they say Mario Kart 9. I'm like, well, the death's door is here because Mario Kart definitely isn't getting 2 entries on the Switch. I can tell you that much. I'm like, the Grim Reaper's come knocking. Like, because yes, the Switch is a massive success, and I'd hope to God that my thinking is, Hunter, it's like your dream. It's like your dream. I'm picturing your dream right now. Okay, what if the Switch Pro isn't real? It's just the next Switch that's backwards compatible.
Yes, that would be delightful because it would spite all of these people who've been claiming this. They can finally shut up about it.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I'm starting to think it because
I really do hope that Nintendo's next console is just like Switch 2.
I think it will be. I think it might be. I think
hope
it will be.
They'll have some kind of name for it that shoots itself in the foot, like the Wii U.
I think if they do keep the Switch moniker, they will legit do a Sony and call it Switch 2. I genuinely think that's what they'll do.
Switches. Yeah.
But because, like you were saying, Kyle, it's like, I don't ever think about the end of the Switch. And it's funny, because I feel like Switch players nowadays, they only talk about 2 things, right? They only talk about how shit games are running nowadays, and like how old the hardware is, and like how they're looking forward to something new, like Switch Pro. Mm-hmm. But no one ever considers the fact that maybe we're at the end of the Switch's life cycle. Like no one ever goes.
Like, 2017 was a while ago at this point.
It sure
it's
was.
5 years. It'll be 5 years.
5 years. That's
It's lasted longer than the Wii U, guys. We've made it.
I was
past
gonna
the
say
Wii U.
the Wii U was short-lived. Like what? It came out at the end of 2012 and was killed in
4.5 years. Yeah, 2017. Yeah. So we have outlived the Wii U. And also most Nintendo consoles last around 5 years because the GameCube was similar. Because the GameCube was 01, the Wii was 06. 06. The Wii was from 06 to 2012, right? So it was basically, how many years is that even? Count.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. Which was a bit longer. And that's the Wii. That's their most successful console ever, right?
Yeah.
N64 was 95. Was it 95 or 96?
I think it was 95 in Japan.
Yeah, so that was 95 to 2001. So again, 6 years. We are getting there, 2023 could be the year of the Switch 2 or whatever.
And I'm sure it's going to launch with all of the cross-compatible things that they've been promising us for the Switch already, like Metroid Prime 4 and Breath of the Wild 2.
I will tell you this. I think if there is a Switch 2, I think that they'll do what Xbox is doing at this moment, where I don't think they'll do what they did with the Wii U to the Switch, where it was like, the day the Switch came out was like, salut Wii U, you are dead, goodbye. I think there'll be like a couple of years, well, there'll be 1 to 2 years where games work on both. So it's like Breath of the Wild 2 will have a Switch 2 version, but similar to how the Xbox has the Xbox One and the Xbox Series version, it'll be like, I think it might even come in the same box, right? Like Xbox. It'll be one of those things where it's just, actually no, Nintendo, it won't. It'll be in two very specific different boxes.
Yeah.
There'll be different shapes, even though the cartridges will be the exact same size. Because that's exactly what will happen.
But one will look terrible on your shelf.
Oh, definitely. And they'll all have region like differences, like with the Switch, where the font is different. Where in America it's aligned to the left, whereas in Europe it's aligned to the center for no fucking reason other than Pal Lamau. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Hunter, you pick any game up for your choosing, and we can prove it right now.
Yeah.
If we have the same game, don't pick Hades.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only one like in arm's reach.
I mean, grab Hades. I can grab any game, and it proves the point. Because look,
my shelf is too far away to
participate. Hades, mine, Mario Maker 2, right in the fucking center, right slap bang. There you go, right slap bang in the middle. And to be honest, I think I like the middle more. That's just my personal take, because I just like
it does look better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, why? That's such a Nintendo thing.
Why is it so different? This will always remind me of my Resident Evil remakes and how the alignment on those, they are aligned to the middle, but 3 for some reason is like 2 spaces like worth of like pushing the space bar to the right for no reason.
There's a game. Where is it? I'm not going to grab it, but there's certain games on the Switch. I don't know if you guys have them in America, where all the Switch games here have the Switch font as it writes, that all the titles are written in the Switch font on the spines. There are some games that have all the names, like they have the entire title in capital letters. Fuck those people that do that. There are also guys that just swap the font. They're like, fuck it, we'll use our own.
I'm pretty sure we have stuff like that here because I've chatted with a dude about being annoyed about different like spines looking weird because of certain games.
Yeah, I mean, here's one for Danganronpa where it's all in capitals. Look at that. All in capital letters. And I'm like, last time I checked, Danganronpa's logo isn't all in capitals. In fact, all of it bar the D is lowercase. I'm like, why? Why you do this?
It's a Monokuma torture method.
And it works, let me tell you. But Kyle, I don't know. What
Ethan's execution is just Monokuma harassing his OCD.
Yeah, genuinely. It's just like, and now you get a North American copy of this. I'm like, no, the alignment. But no, Kyle, what do you think? Mario Kart 9, do you... Because we can... What's the point in predicting what's in Mario Kart 9? It's going to be a fucking Mario Kart game, right? But it's like... Yeah. I think the more interesting conversation is, does this actually, like, hint towards maybe being near the end of the Switch life cycle?
I think so, because, like, yes, Mario Kart 8 still sells, like, 1 million copies every year for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's such a hot item. No one's played it before. There's no one has units. You got to keep selling it, Kyle.
I mean, like, the funny thing is, like, I've seen people, like, buy Switches, and every time they're always just like, yeah, I've got, like, Smash Bros. Mario Kart. And I'm like, oh, you're the ones who are still buying this.
Yeah.
People who just bought the console.
Yeah, I mean, I own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I bought it when the game came out on release day. It's like, so people that are still sitting here, because to me, yeah, it's like, that is the game that you buy with your Switch. So the fact that we still have people that are like, you know, I just feel like buying Mario Kart now. I'm like, why? Why did you wait like 5 years?
Yeah.
Hunter, you want to buy Mario Kart?
Pass.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it should be like a passing of the torch moment. The day that Mario Kart 9's released, you should just be like,
that's
finally,
when I'll go buy it.
Finally, it's time.
It's time.
It's
This
time.
game was a little too peoply for me before. Now that they're all moving on, I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, exactly. But no.
I mean, to be fair, I did play it on the Wii U. We had it then.
Oh right, we did.
Yeah,
Gosh,
and I
remember
didn't.
the Wii U?
And like,
Actually, wait, I didn't own it then either.
like
Did you
I've
not?
mentioned, I don't
No.
have friends to play it with, so I don't really care.
Dude,
to
I
go
was
back.
a massive grinder of the online of Mario Kart 8 when it came out. Like
That
legit.
sentence
What does
doesn't
that even
surprise
mean?
me.
What does that mean?
I saw you play Crash.
You know
I saw
that.
you play Nitro Fueled.
Yeah, you know, like you know the VR, the is it the VR? What is it? The points like system that Mario Kart has,
Yeah.
where you like have certain points. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put like 100 hours into the online of Mario Kart 8, and the funny thing is, I didn't even get to 9,000 because that game takes so long to get to 9,000 that I could put over 150 hours into that game and not get close. I was at like 7,000.
What do they give you for it?
Nothing. I was just playing it for fun. I loved Mario Kart 8 so that much. It was great.
Okay.
But I'm at the point now where, you know, it's been nearly a decade of this. I'm ready for a new Mario Kart, you know? I'm ready for a new one. It's been 8 years. I'm ready for a new Mario Kart. Where is it? If it costs the sacrifice of the Switch to get a new Mario Kart, I'll literally stab mine right now, Nintendo. Like, literally, I'll literally just stick it here and go... I'll be like, pass me your sword. Let me grab it. I'll be like, straight away. Be like, goodbye, Nintendo Switch, for the future. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be coming soon. I don't know. We'll see.
I should start cycling through which ones I put like off to the side of me. Just find a reason every week to pull a different sword out and put
why
in
not?
somebody.
Man's got options.
Yeah, it must be nice. I'm just sitting here swordless, like a fool.
Dude, I've only got the one option. I'm still really surprised. So, like, I asked my parents, because I still live with my parents, if they were cool with me buying a sword. They both said yes, which I'm like, okay. This was a lot easier than I don't know.
My parents bought me the first several I have. They were birthday presents and or Christmas.
So what you're saying is they promoted this, like they promoted this behavior. They were like, "You will buy swords, son. Here you go. I'll get you started."
They encouraged it
because
they
know
I like
your aesthetic when you grow up.
Yeah,
I've liked stuff like this since I was young.
Yeah, that's fair. Swords are fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like both my parents just said, "Yeah, go ahead," and I'm like, "This took so much less convincing than I thought it would have to."
Like, it's not that you probably, especially if it's just a replica of a game sword, would have a struggle actually killing somebody with it.
Yeah, like at this point, it's just a prop.
You've got 2 good swings, and then it'll bend.
I just feel like there's always that thing where when you're buying things, like even now, right? I feel like I have to justify purchases. Like, I don't know why, but there's like certain things. It's like when I bought this Xbox, right? It's my money. I've been working. I should be able to buy an Xbox. But even still, when it came, I was speaking to my mum about it. I was like, yeah, I bought it because, you know, there's a game coming out later next year, and because of the how console shortage, I don't know if I'll get a good chance to do it. And mum was like, why the fuck are you trying to like justify your purchases to me? I'm like, you've got a good point. Why do I need validation on my purchasing habits? I feel like it's one of those weird things.
I don't try to justify mine. What I do is I'll just be like, I want that. And then I'll wait. And then if I come back like a month later, I'm like, I still want that. That's when I'll act on it.
You see, you've got restraint, whereas I just buy. I've got monkey brain where I'll just see something on Amazon, I'll literally just be like, shiny, buy, and then that's it. It's in my cart, and I've already bought it. But no, I'm constantly trying to justify either to me or to somebody else. I'm like, please justify, because like my biggest fear is buying something and then someone seeing it and like being like, why have you bought that? What are you doing with yourself? So that's why I feel like I have to justify.
What's with all these copies of Skyrim?
Yeah. I feel like it's the same reason that I don't play JRPGs. Yeah. It's like why I don't play JRPGs in front of my parents. That's also a thing that I don't do because I'm like, no, parents, trust me, I'm not horny, please. It's just a video game. It's just Xenoblade 2, I swear. Like I don't want to hear the terrible acting. Because like the one, go on.
I was gonna say this was like an article from like a couple weeks ago, but there was someone complaining about the character designs in Genshin Impact, and in the article they were just like, "What if I wanted to play this game around my family?" And I'm just like, I was reading that, and I'm like, "Who in the heck wants to play Genshin Impact around their family?"
This was the same article that pitted Aloy against like Japanese female characters, and I hate that this has become what female characters in video games is Western versus Japanese, because Aloy and Bayonetta are both great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to tear one down to make the other one look good.
No, but I'm the exact same, dude. It's like the last thing that I want to be doing in my entire life, Kyle, is to be caught by my parents watching anime. That's like worse than the death penalty. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's because they'll buy you a book.
That happened, dude. That happened.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm referring to.
I'm horrified. Yeah, I might as well tell this story now. I guess it's going in the public. Yeah, my parents saw me watch. I don't remember what it was. They either saw me watching something, or it might be because of Persona 5, because that's the only thing that I will publicly admit. And they were like, "Oh, he must like the animes." So he is like, because I was early 2021. I was trying to get into learning how to draw. And they were like, "Well, here's a book on how to draw anime," and I'm like, "Oh God, here it goes." I'm like, if I start getting weird stuff for Christmas, it's all over. Thankfully, this Christmas, nothing along those lines has happened. So either they've forgotten or they've realized I'm not one of those kids. You know what I mean?
It's just. Fun.
And hey, if you are one of those kids, fair play to you.
More power to you. But
yeah.
It's just funny.
Props to you if you own it.
I wish I was that confident. Yeah,
because like that book in particular, my mom bought me just because she knows I like Zelda. She didn't even know what it was. It's like the strategy book for the HD re-release of Twilight Princess. And I'm like, I'll keep it on the shelf, sure.
See, I wish
it's neat.
I wish I had something like that. I basically ban video game stuff for Christmas and stuff like that.
I've also got the Hyrule Historia.
Okay, stop showing off. But it's like, because whenever they do something like, if they're like, "Oh, he likes games," it'll be a fucking t-shirt. And like, trust me, you all know that. You've all been there, right? You've all got like 6 million fucking t-shirts in your closet, and the last thing I need is another goddamn t-shirt with Crash Bandicoot on it. I don't need it. I don't need it. You all know. And it's also, it's not one of those yet like Yeti ones or one of those custom art designs from online. It's one of those. Welcome to China. He is the Crash JPEG of the NST stock photo where he's doing that. The position, the Crash NST render where he's doing that. And it's like, oh great, my sick t-shirt with that render on it, because it's going like, that's just what I needed. My favorite. So no, that's why you should don't show your parents your interests, or if you do, pray that you have someone like Hunter's parents who buy him like books on it, and not like mine where you get a t-shirt or the don't bother me. I'm
to
gaming.
be fair, I have gotten like t-shirts and stuff. I swear to God, like 3 years in a row, I'm pretty sure my mother's gift giving process to me for Christmas was walking into Hot Topic and being like,
well, at least that's Hot Topic, dude.
He probably likes this, or this.
At least that's Hot Topic. At least it's not going to the Facebook Marketplace or AliExpress or somewhere.
Not the Facebook
Marketplace. Salu, game. It's like, oh, let's get him that poster. It's like, I'm a gamer not because I choose to not have a life, but because I choose to have many. It's one of those things.
Oh,
and you're like,
not that one.
No, you can't do this to me. I swear. No, what have I done to deserve this? I thought I was good this year. What the heck?
I think the only one of those shirts I'd accept is the one with Sonic on it that says, I'm not a player, I'm a gamer. Players get chicks, I get beat up in school.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's
a good one.
Quite funny. I don't know. We've been talking for quite a bit, but we're a gaming podcast. Shall we talk about playing games? Should we do that?
Nah.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you can't
Kyle,
talk.
You don't have games
Let's just
to
talk about gamer merchandise.
I mean, I've already shown most of it off. I feel like I just have like a load of t-shirts. I have that "Don't at me when I'm gaming, do not disturb gaming in progress" sign, which is which at first I thought was a horrendous GIF, but then I realized that I could use it as a meme on like stream or like on Discord or like use it as a joke, so it came in handy.
Yeah.
Socks. I don't know what people's like thing is with socks. Although to be fair, socks aren't too bad.
Considering they're being covered up by shoes most of the time.
But socks aren't that bad because usually if there's like gamer socks or whatever, like I've had some of like Mario stuff on them or like Crash stuff.
At least the designs are alright.
Yeah, because usually they're like embroidered or they're just like printed on, right? They're not like the China kind of the made in China kind of like sticky kind of like you know what I'm talking about, like the what do you call it? You know, the really cheap printing thing that's usually done in most like big like
I know what
shops.
you're talking.
You know,
I know what you
about,
mean.
like,
I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. That it's like, you know, you're getting it from AliExpress. You're getting them from like not even Redbubble. Redbubble probably has better quality, you know, but it's like even though it's probably all pirated. Yeah, I don't have much, but socks. Socks are usually decent because they have to put some effort in on socks usually. It's either an embroidered thing or it's actually woven into the fabric. T-shirts are the worst. Don't at me. But yeah. I have no other merch. Hunter gets good merch.
Yeah, I've got
You have any cringy merch, Carl?
No.
Well, there you go then. Guess we're going to have to talk about games. Unlucky bud. Maybe next week. What do we want to talk about? Because we mentioned at the HGAs that we did play some games. So should I talk about Returnal quickly?
Yeah,
I said I'd talk
Let's
about
start
it.
with Returnal.
Okay. Gosh, I love that the biggest timestamp on our like thing is going to just be Mario Kart and anime in front of your parents. Let's go, rise up. But no, my thing with Returnal was, so I played all of it. I beat it in like 9 hours because I'm such a gamer and that game's so easy. No, I just got lucky, I think. But my thing about that game is, wow, I'm glad everybody else loved it as much as they loved it. I think it is fine. Like I've seen some other people more recently talk about how they feel like definitely on the way. Returnal was like fine. That they were like, I didn't hate it, but I don't see why everyone else loved it. And I feel it like fit in the same category. I'm like, it's very good and I enjoyed it. I just don't get what made it lovable, if that makes sense, instead of just like, I like it. Because the story is not that great. It's like, it's interesting, but it's not spectacular.
It doesn't come together in a way that makes it hit super hard. At least I didn't think so.
No, not
because like I paid attention as much as I typically do with things like that, and I was still left wondering what exactly happened here. In some cases,
genuinely, who knows? We still don't know. But it's like the performance of Celine is great. I like the performance.
Yeah, and she does a good job.
Like the whole atmosphere and stuff is cool, and I kind of like the roguelite elements and stuff like that. I'm
2 for 2 on roguelikes that I've enjoyed, as far as like right in a row with Hades and
but Returnal. I think I liked Hades more because it's like it's the great thing about Hades is it's this bite-sized thing where you can do a run in 15 minutes, where if you're good, like if you've got to a point where you know how to play Hades, you can do a run in like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, whereas Returnal's like, yo bud, you want to play for 3 hours,
even if you can
save,
the runs take forever.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, to be fair, I only had like 5 runs in total of my entire game. Like I didn't have that problem of resetting as much as everybody else did. But even still, I think that game is easier than people let on, because patience is key. If you are patient in Returnal, you shouldn't be dying. Because if you go to every room and I think like people think that they have to run into a room and have to do all the bullet hell. If you just take a step back, think about your situation, and play it.
You could segment up how the things will come at you sometimes too.
Yeah,
like not every monster attacks you at once.
The only rooms that you have to play like a bullet hell shooter, like Housemarque's previous entries, are rooms where they lock you in and they fire waves at you, and the bosses. That's literally it. Every other room you can take a step back and think about it methodically. And I think, and this is coming from the fucking monkey brain himself, I'm like, yo, are people just not thinking when they play this
Like,
game? Are they just
I'll
like...
100% admit the reason I died as much as I did in that game is because I have the thing where I won't pay attention to where I'm at as far as life goes until I'm almost dead. And I'll be like,
I'm always
I should start trying not to die. That's
Yeah.
how I am with everything. Like, even games I'm good at, with like Devil May Cry, I don't start trying, so to speak, until I'm at like 10% health.
Yeah. I don't know. It just, to me, it wasn't particularly like there was a difficulty to it, and obviously there's some like learning. But when people say it took me 8 hours to pick up on what I was doing, I was like,
that's silly.
Did you learn how to like? And this isn't me like saying this in like a condescending way. I'm like, did you learn to play video games from Returnal? Because why the fuck is it taking you 8 hours? Like, a lot of the stuff you should know from other game types, like third-person shooters and, you know, obviously other roguelikes. I can understand not understanding the systems like Returnals, what like the resurrection machines or the weird Obolite system or any of that. Can totally understand that, but at the same time, you don't need to rely on any of that shit to survive.
Yeah, it's just
I did not. I very quickly gathered that the malfunctions from the little parasites weren't worth it most of the time, so I just skipped the parasites.
Or it would be easy to be like, okay, or choose like which ones you could do without.
Yeah. Basically.
You know, like this drawback is something that I barely open chests anyway, so I can take this parasite because I just won't open chests.
Yeah, or you could literally do what I did, which was, if I think this is what they mean when it says it took them hours to sort it out, was they basically realized it took them 8 hours to realize, oh, I should not be picking up parasites and opening things with malignancy on them. So I get, and I'm like, it took me 15 minutes to go. You know, those chests that cause me to have defects are probably not worth opening. And you know, though, yeah, and it's like, it did not take me. Really did not take me.
I gathered as much when I read those two things. When I had both pieces of information, it was put together, you know?
And it was like, I was just sitting there because I was like, most of the time the chests had weapons in them. 90%, like 90% of the time they have weapons in them. A lot
of times they weren't even good weapons.
Yeah, and I found the AR was pretty great whenever I found it. So I just sit there and it's like low chance of getting malignancy. I'm like, not even worth it. Let's not even bother opening the chest. And spoiler alert, the whole worlds 1, 2, and 3, biomes 1, 2, and 3, I died in biome 1 within 15 minutes, Kyle. I didn't die again in the entire first act of the game. I did the whole of worlds 1, 2, and 3 in one life that second time round. Because from the first life, I realized, okay, don't rush into things, because I died to a boss that was basically there to teach you to not rush into things, like a mini boss that was there that kind of ambushes you, teaches you not to rush into things. And I was like, oh, and I got a load of malignancy from chests and these parasites. Should probably avoid those too. And then there you go, instantly I seem to have bypassed the system because I'm no longer getting any negative aspects at all, and I'm only going with positives, which for a first run makes it really quick.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I still like it, and I still see why people like it, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it a lot more than I did.
The game, or as far as the difficulty in the game, like, I died more than you, but I didn't think it was hard. Like, when I reviewed it, I didn't bring up the difficulty at all, really.
Yeah, and I mean, we had that discussion where you were like, I don't think it's particularly challenging. It's just like it's just learning, and it's like, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of, it's with like Dark Souls and stuff like that. But Dark Souls is, again, I think Dark Souls is worse because the controls are also a bit janky in Dark Souls, and there's some accessibility issues with Dark Souls.
It feels like they try to shoot you in the foot a little bit in those.
But with Returnal, I think that is genuinely I don't think it's hard from an accessibility perspective. I think it is one of those things where I just think people aren't like thinking when they're playing, in a way. There could be a couple of issues with the controller layout. I don't know necessarily about like
the accessibility specifically for like people who aren't just like you or me.
Yeah, no. What I meant from accessibility was not the idea of someone like you say that does that you know doesn't have 10 things, has like either physical or mental disabilities or anything like that. I'm not talking about people like that, obviously, who might need further accessibility options, which probably should be needed in Returnal. But I'm talking about when people say that they struggle getting into Dark Souls from just regular accessibility, from it feeling jank, from it playing horrible, they want an they want an easier mode as a gateway to get in. I don't think Returnal really has that problem, in my opinion.
Returnal feels smooth to play and all that, as far as like everything you do feels like it acts as you feel like it should.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that I guess Dark Souls, you could be like, oh, why did I get hit when I was suddenly behind the boss or something?
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, there you go. I played Returnal. You can shut up. There you go. I played it.
There you go. You got both of PlayStation's big exclusives.
Oh, yeah.
First party, anyway.
Don't forget Deathloop. Don't forget Deathloop. Everyone loves
That's why I had to throw out that qualifier.
Do you want to talk about Ace Attorney?
Oh, yeah. So last week I said that was the one that I wanted to get into more on my like list of shame from 2021 because I had started it and then just games came out again. And so this week I played the second chapter and oh man, I love this series. Like Ace Attorney is great for a number of reasons. Like the mysteries are pretty solidly done, and the thing that always puts Ace Attorney over the Danganronpa games for me was that the volume of characters I like is just
Blasphemy.
so much. It's just
telling me you
so
don't
much
like
more.
Pervert Chef, dude.
Yeah, okay.
You're telling me you don't like weird hair fucking motorbike guy, dude.
I liked Mondo.
Telling me you don't like fat, nerdy comic writer, dude.
I definitely do not like the stupid beaver hippo man. No, I don't.
How dare you? You are not a man of culture.
Like, Danganronpa 3 was easily decided for you by the cast being the best one in the game.
Well, not just that. I think it has the best story and the best cases as well. Fuck you, Danganronpa V3 haters. We live in mad cause bad. I'm choosing the best game in the franchise. Thank you for the rest of my case.
But
people who like Danganronpa 2, am I right, Danganronpa 1 fans? I've got you.
The point is, like, Ace Attorney has as many likable characters in like 3 cases that a majority of the Danganronpa series has in their entire roster.
Like, this is hate speech and I'm offended.
You'll be okay.
No,
for example, Herlock Sholmes got introduced in the second chapter, and
fuckers like, yeah, guys, characters in Danganronpa are bad, but let me tell you about great characters in fucking Ace Attorney, like Herlock Sholmes.
I mean, yes, it is a play on the Sherlock Holmes thing, but I think what they do is interesting. First of all, they come off as if he is a bit dumb, and then like,
I mean, his name's Sherlock, dude.
That is the most on-brand thing for this series, to take a public domain character and still scramble up the name like it's dodging copyright.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for the next Ace Attorney where they add in Penny the Woo.
I hope that happens. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, bother.
But like,
I murdered someone. No bother.
The fun thing about him is, like, the whole mechanic that they have you do is he's a great detective, so to speak, but his observations are wrong in an aspect, but they're hitting close enough to home to trigger the person that he's accusing to react. You just have to correct what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting because it makes him come off as dumb, but then like towards the end of the chapter, he gets uncharacteristically serious, and I'll be like, oh, so you're not as silly as you may come off. There was also this great part where he was doing a parody of like Frank Sinatra's My Way. It was fantastic.
What?
He was just like, he was humming along to himself. Like, you enter the hallway and it's like, what's going on here? And I'm like, huh, that's funny. But yeah, that's great. The other characters involved in this particular version of the game are fantastic. I think that Ryunosuke, I've just been calling him Ryu, is a good lead. I think that the assistant character, Susato, is great. I met the prosecutor in chapter 3, and he is fantastic.
Nice.
He's got a very like vampire type of aesthetic to him, and it is great.
I guess my question is this like Where is the best starting point for this franchise, I guess? Is this a good starting point? Do you need to play other Ace Attorney games to play this one?
No, not really. As far as what I'm getting to, like, sure, I'm sitting here drawing comparisons to other characters, but you don't need those to like get what you're seeing or anything like that. In fact, there's some departures in this game that are fascinating that I wouldn't be expecting, but like someone who comes into this one on their own probably wouldn't be bothered by. Like chapter 2 doesn't have any parts that happen in court. You solve all of this just out of court, which was interesting. Nice. I'm like, huh. Like when I got hit with like a third investigation section, I'm like, oh, this is going long. And then I realized like halfway through that, I'm like, oh, this is gonna wrap up. That's cool. But yeah, I think reasonably you could just jump into this one if you felt like it. Like if the whole Victorian London vibe was something that appeals to someone else as much as it does me, and they aren't familiar with the series. Yeah,
dude, I love it. Pip, pip, all that.
Yeah.
Cool, blimey, I'm going to clean this chimney, I am.
The murder that happens in chapter 3 revolves around this dude being like murdered while a carriage is just being like one of those carriages that take you from place to place like a cab. It like happened there. It was great.
Nice. Very cool. I need to get into...
The other fun thing about these mysteries as far as chapter 2 going forward is they seem to be inspired in some part by some kind of classic Sherlock Holmes story, as one might expect given the involvement of the detective. What I like is that they spin it around just enough to where I was savvy enough about the first one being like it was the Speckled Band or something. I read that one when I was in high school. I was savvy enough to understand where they were going without knowing the full answer to the mystery. I like that they didn't just wholesale copy it.
Despite that's the best part.
Despite being able to.
That's the best part of the public domain, dude. Just copy and paste. Dude.
Well, I would have. It would.
I like story.
I like that I didn't know the answer to the mystery just because I had read something in high school. I like that they changed it up enough to for me to be able to have to still be like, okay, I can't just.
You still had to pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. But now I need to get into Ace Attorney at some point. It's one of those things where after Danganronpa, I need a break.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping Danganronpa doesn't come back during that break. But that'd be my luck. I'll be like, okay, I'm ready for a new visual novel. And then Danganronpa's like, no, I'm back, bitch. I'm like, oh no. God damn it. I thought you were done. But no, I do like the look on them, so I do need to get into them at some point.
Yeah.
Who knows? I also need to get into a thingy as well. What's that game called?
Somnium Files? Yeah. That is the best video game mystery that I've played.
Ooh. Yeah. Fun. It's on Game Pass, so maybe I will now that I'm a Phil Spencer shill.
Oh, yeah. Good old Shill Spencer.
How dare you? No, he's not a shill. I'm the shill for Phil Spencer, dude.
No, that's you're one of his shill Spencers. There's many of them.
Oh, is that what we call ourselves? Are we groupies?
That's what I'm calling you.
Nice. Am I just ripping my shirt off every time I see him, dude? Be like proper groupie, dude. Yeah, be like, we love you, Phil. Yeah.
You get a group of other ones to spell out like his name. PHI. Yeah.
Just a big line.
A back row that says Spencer.
Yeah, exactly. I like how you're thinking. I don't know.
Speaking of shilling for Xbox, haven't you been playing Forza?
You
didn't really get to go into detail on that.
No, it's my addiction. It's for me only. I guess I'll talk. I don't know. I bought the Xbox, right? I mentioned it. And I was like, I'm going to play all these games, guys. I'm going to play the Halos. I'm going to play the Oris, the Gears of the Wars and shit. And then I was like, no, Cargo Vroom. And then I played Forza for 15 hours instead. I don't know, man. It's like, Forza Horizon's great. I am fully on board on the Forza Horizon train. I am also 100% in the belief that I feel like I'm feeling like this because it's my first Forza Horizon game. I feel like if I played this every 2 years, I feel like I would get sick of it at some point, if that makes sense, with the way that they release. But because it's my first one, I'm like, oh no, this is really fun. And it's a great kind of switch your brain off game, if that makes sense. It's one of those, I want to listen to a podcast. I want to watch a Twitch stream. I want to watch a YouTube video, but I don't want that to be the only thing that I'm doing. It's one of those, put it on your other monitor, put it on your TV, and just cruise around. And it's great fun, and it's kind of like comfort food. Like, I tried playing Halo, and I might just skip straight to Infinite because I do not like Halo. I've decided I'm not a Halo person. I played half of Halo 1, guys, and like a third of Halo 2. I don't like Halo.
Honestly, with series like this, sometimes it might just be better to work backwards. Like, start with the newest one and be like, oh, that was cool. Let's see what was.
Potentially, because man, it's just like it hasn't aged well. It's like some series age like fine wine, right? Where you're like, oh, this game feels as good as it did when it came out. Some games are like Persona 3. Where you're like, and don't get me wrong, I want to love Persona 3, especially because I want to see what the story's all about. But the combat is just shit. And you're like, why are we just sitting here in this mementos hell of a tower? I'm like, no, I don't want this. And you're like,
dude, I love crossing my fingers and hoping my healer heals me.
Yeah, fuck that. And Halo's in a similar way, where the first Halo is genuinely like, it's like this open world kind of game in a weird way, where it's like the levels are linear, but the worlds are massive, so there's different branches and everywhere to go. And it's like, in 2002, I can imagine that's cool, where you're like, whoa, it's not just telling me where to go, I have to explore. And so in 2022, it's like, fuck me, these levels are so... because there's nothing there. There's nothing there except for the objectives, and it's literally like trying to find the waypoint without them telling you. And it's like fucking tedious as shit. And then when you do get there, it's like, oh, your reward is shooting these grunts. Congratulations. And then you give it a round of applause, and it's like, on to the next area. And it's just like... the in-time parts, the more linear parts aren't that interesting either. I can see what people mean when it's like space corridors simulator as Halo, like with Halo, where it's just all grey and the same kind of thing. Yeah, I just don't like the original Halo. Halo 2 was a bit better. Had like some cool cutscenes. Master Chief like carried a bomb through space from one ship into another ship and then yeeted away like he's fucking Superman. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. The cutscenes were quite fun. But then I got back to the gameplay and it was going through corridors shooting grunts, and I'm like, feel like I did this. Feel like it's still shit. So I might give Halo 2 a bit of a more chance, but I don't know. But then when I go to play Forza, I'm like, nah, this is just fun. Because it's like all the fun parts of GTA, which is the driving, but then it's all the shit parts of GTA are gone. The toxic people that spam rocket launchers at your cars, they're not there. So I can just drive about and cruise to the radio. And it's funny, because the radio stations are infinitely better than the GTA ones, because they actually have more than 20 voice lines. It's like a revolution. Like, you can actually win 5 races in a row, and the people on the radio will actually comment on it, where they'll be like, oh, our superstar's been winning like 5 races in a row, and they have interactive stuff for you doing shit in the world for like every different mission. There'll be different
that's nice.
rebounds and stuff like that. Like,
really cool.
You've just completed this race and stuff like that. And you know, they're like, I mainly listen to the pop one, the pulse wave, whatever it is. But then they've got 6 stations where they're all like this, where they all have their own hosts, and they'll all make these comments on the different things that you'll be doing around the Horizon Festival. Because it is in game, it's centered around this festival where every 2 years the Horizon crew basically go to a different country and hold this racing festival, this kind of extreme sports festival for cars.
I like how they have the release cycle like explained in universe. That's funny.
Yeah, basically, because it's like because the character you're playing is supposed to be your character carried over from Forza Horizon 4, so he's English because it was set in England, and so he's like, oh yeah, you're the superstar from England. And it's like, oh, yeah, I am. But also, you're meaning that because of the last game. I'm just a star in England, baby. Let's go. But yeah, it just is. It's just like kind of one of those comfort food games that you can just sit back and play and don't really have to think. And it's been a while since I've played a game. Yeah, I played Tetris Effect on Xbox as well. I forgot about that. That's a good game.
Yeah.
Good game. I kind of want to play it in VR. I kind of want to get a PlayStation VR 2 and play it in VR so I can feel like high or something. Like that feels like the kind of game where you just want to trip out to it.
Doctor Strange sending you to
into the multiverse of Tetron. Yeah. But no, Forza is just like, it's a good game. It's like comfort food. I haven't had a comfort food game in ages. Because I just keep playing these story games, and I'm bored of story games. And just to have this game where it's just like, yo, just want to fucking race around. And I mean, it has the things for sports fans. I was playing it with you guys listening to me earlier, and they'll be like, oh my god, is this the Ferrari G7X supercharged edition? I can't believe we found it. And I'm just sitting here going, I don't care. Does it go vroom? Yes, cool.
You even called it a Ford Focus.
There is the Ford Focus is in the game, Hunter.
Oh,
I think they have all of them, like, because like it's like, oh, there's all these sports cars, and then there's like the Jeeps, like the 4x4s, and then you can just get like a Mini Cooper.
Oh my god!
Cruise around like
Coopers?
a Mini, or like a reliable Robin, the thing with like the 3 wheels, like those like death traps. They've got those too.
Amazing. That's hilarious.
And it is. It's just like a fun comfort food game, and I like it quite a bit. Kyle, what have you been doing? Let's wrap it up with you, because like, you know, we've been having fun. We've been playing games. What have you been doing with your life? What have you been playing?
Today, just kind of on a whim, I threw Kingdom Hearts 3 into my PlayStation. I almost said PS2.
He's done it again.
All right. Before we started the show, you talked about how you thought about playing Hades, but decided not to because you had to put it in your console.
Yeah,
you're telling me you took the effort to do this for Kingdom Hearts.
So there was nothing in my PS4. There was something in my Switch.
I hate you.
I hate me too, Hunter. I hate that I'm like this too.
Go on.
I hate to be a Shill Spencer, but with the power of Game Pass, you never have to put a disc in your console ever again. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Damn, bro. You're right.
Yeah.
Which is why, what if I just pulled out an Xbox right now?
Yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah, fuck PlayStation.
Bye, Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter, get with the times. We're an Xbox show now. 2022.
This is the season 3 rebrand.
Maybe by the time
the arc.
Maybe by the time Senua comes out, I'll be like, all right, let's go.
Hell yeah. But anyway, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah. I didn't put it in to play the base game because I think the base game sucks.
Boo.
So, why are you booing me? I'm right.
It's great.
The base game was okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was very...
Oh, come on.
It was a fun first playthrough.
Yeah, and you know, if that's the only playthrough you do, then there's no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Amen, Hunter, because it's like Kingdom Hearts 2 is a corridor sim if you play it for the first time around, because that's all it fucking is. Do you like corridors, dude? Yo, Kyle, I've got a game for you. It's called Halo. You'll love it. But anyway, so you were playing Super Bosses on Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, so I played through a lot of the Data Org fights again, and the Yozora Super Boss, to be like, okay, were these actually good bosses, or was I just...
God, here we go.
Or was I just blinded by...
rage?
Or, like...
No,
this was good content.
He's got the brain of a he's got the brain of a Kingdom Hearts fan, Hunter. This is the problem. He's got the brain of a Kingdom Hearts fan. He's like, I had a good time. Am I sure about that? Because as a Kingdom Hearts fan, I'm legally required to hate fucking everything except Kingdom Hearts 2. So let me go back and check that I didn't sign my NDA wrong. That's basically what you're saying. And
the takeaway is that I did not sign it wrong.
Oh, good.
A lot of the bosses are very fantastic. Some of the best bosses in Kingdom Hearts. Sayax can suck it.
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah.
Cool.
I genuinely think Yozora is one of the best designed bosses in Kingdom Hearts history.
I can't wait for Yozora to show up again, dude, and disappoint everybody. I can't wait.
I can't wait for him to be another Keyblade user.
Oh, he's gonna 100%
they take
have a
away
Keyblade.
everything cool about him. His laser sword, his little gun crossbow.
Such is the cycle.
Did I ever tell you what? Did you ever look up what the Melody of Memory ending was that links into every?
No, I don't care about Melody of Memories.
No, we'll tell you because
wait! I think I remember you mentioning this.
Yeah, it's really
you might have, and I've already forgotten, which is how much I cared about Melody of Memories.
So here you go, guys. Story time. For those of you who also haven't played Melody of Memory. So if I remember correctly, this is also coming from a third party from 2 months ago, so this could be wrong as well. But that's the fun of Kingdom Hearts, it's all wrong.
It's true.
So basically, Kairi's going through her memories or whatever, and then she has a vision of is it Xehanort? Yeah, she has a vision of Xehanort. And Xehanort, yeah, he's back, and he knows where Sora is, because he's been to the world before. So he's like, oh, I know where he's gone. And it's like, oh, cool. And bye. And then he phases out. He's like,
Xehanort messed around in Yozora Land too?
He's been to Yozora Land.
God, I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate Xehanort. He sucks.
He was so much cooler in pieces. Like, Ansem and Xemnas were so much better than him.
But anyway, she wakes up or whatever. She gets a piece of the puzzle or whatever, because Xehanort gave her some kind of fucking riddle. Because of course he did. He's like, yo, back from the grave to give you a riddle. Call me Willy Wumper Cheeks, dude, because I've got a riddle for you. Yeah. To the final world you must go, was basically what he said.
Now you get to fight Yozora.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Riku.
And everyone thinks you're a schmo.
Yeah, so Riku has been fucking all useless, basically. The fairy godmother comes in and is like, yo, guys, don't worry, I'm the plot device, follow me. And they go to the final world from Kingdom Hearts 3, which was the world with all the weird stars and the Chirithy, that place.
Oh, yeah.
So they go there, and you know the female voice in one of the female voice from the weird little sparkly stars that wasn't Namine.
Right, the one where they die.
Yeah, you know the soul that wasn't there was a soul that wasn't Namine, right? Turns out that person is a friend of Yozora, who's from that world. Oh, that's what the hint was. The hint was the dweeb
with the glasses.
No, we don't know who it is. It's
probably
basically the hint was the world wasn't part of reality, and it wasn't part of it wasn't between the worlds of, it wasn't in the realm of light and darkness. And then Diz has the fucking audacity to go, if it's not in the world of light and darkness, it must be in the world of fiction. And I just start laughing so fucking hard, because apparently fiction is different to light and darkness. So we're now going to fiction in our fictional video game about fictional Disney worlds.
Don't you already do that? Doesn't he already do that when he goes to visit Winnie the Pooh?
Nope, that's a real world. That isn't fiction.
It's in
apparently.
A book.
No,
it's a real book world.
It's a non-fiction book. It's a non-fiction book.
Which is different from the book world that Zexion puts you in his fight.
Yeah. Right. So anyway, so Kyle, so Hunter, so Yozora's world.
It's a dagger.
Whatever. Potato.
Yozora's world
correct me.
is technically a world of fiction, apparently. So you know that Varen Rex game.
It takes place in a video game. Yeah, in
so
Toy Story world.
Yeah, so that
in the real world.
Yeah, Toy Story's real, but that Varen Rex game isn't an actual world. It's still fiction. So using the power of that soul that was using the power of the soul that was in the final world, the fairy godmother was able to transport them into Yozora's world. But so Kairi's like, I'm useful. I've just beaten Xehanort I basically am useful now. I'm gonna go. And Riku's like, hold on, bitch, you've had too much character development. It's Riku time, baby.
Riku's turn.
And he zooms into the world. So, you know that post-credit scene where you see Riku in Yozora's world? That is not a dream. That is him in Yozora's world. So Riku's gone looking for Sora. Kairi's gone back to train with Aqua. So that
With
Aqua is
Aqua.
Aqua is now Kyrie's mentor, which I think's kind of cool actually. Maybe she can pass some character development to
nice
Kyrie.
if it goes anywhere.
Yeah, it won't, but there you
Besides
go.
2 cutscenes.
Yeah, so all we know is they're not dreaming when they're in those. Well, Sora might be dreaming when he's in that post credit scene, but I think Riku isn't.
So what you're saying is it's going to be a VR game.
I fucking hope not.
No, that's like the whole thing is like they had to put themselves into a fictional world. Sounds very similar to like VR.
I'm 100% placing this bet on it's the first world of Kingdom Hearts 4, and then once they've got Sora back, they've got to deal with the Master of Masters and some shit, and then it goes back to Kingdom Bollocks again. That's my guess. And then in the final act, Yozora will come out of the world of fiction and be like, "I'm real," and have a Keyblade, and then Kyle cries, and that's the plot.
Oh.
Yeah, that's...
And then they go to the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody world where they're real. But Yozora isn't.
And we fight Mr. Mosby.
So that was a tangent.
True.
So you enjoyed
I hate Kingdom Hearts, dude.
It's like
why do I keep going back to the whole...
I don't know. My friend Ed was like, he played all the games recently and he was like, "I'm not going back. You can't make me." And I'm like, you're going back because it's that much of a train wreck. You're gonna go back. Like, you can't help.
The fun part is like I've had people like I've got another friend who's a much bigger fan, and I've had people ask both of us, since we both played the games, like, "Can I just play 1, 2, and 3?" And I'm like, "Well, okay, you don't have to play all of them, because if you do just 1, 2, and 3, it's not going to make sense. If you do 1, 2, 1, 2.5, 783, 9,000, it's still not going to make sense. So yeah, just do 1, 2, and 3 because they're the only ones that are really worth it. Arguably.
No. My favorite was I once saw a Kingdom Hearts fan that was doing that Star Wars shit where it was like, no, you don't play them in release order, you got to play them in timeline order, and I was like, oh my god. I'm like,
okay.
How
I want everyone who likes things that have universes that go out of order when they release that timeline order is never the way, first of all.
No. Never.
My dad mentioned that his one of his friends from work was watching the MCU movies with his son, and he was like, and they've just seen Captain Marvel, and I was like, oh, so they're quite far through then. And it's like, no, that's the second film. Like, he's better not be watching it in timeline order. And he's like, yeah, and I
started with the first Avenger.
Yeah, and then went to Captain Marvel. I bet you that son's having a right fucking time with the MCU right now, dude.
I mean, to be fair, first Avenger is really all you need to watch from Phase 1.
How dare you?
Not Iron Man. Tony Stark built it in a cave with a box of scraps.
Dude, I love Iron Man 1.
Also, Tony
Iron Man
Stark
2.
did.
Iron Man 2 is underrated. It is. It's underrated. People hate that.
I've
film.
only seen it once.
It's not as bad as... Honestly, I
feel like Iron Man 3 gets a bad rap, too.
All three of them get a bad rap. People act as if Iron Man 2 and 3 are terrible. I'm like, bitch, have you seen some of the shit that we got from, like, from the rest of the MCU, dude? Like, I'm like,
do you remember the first Thor movie? Do you remember the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah, I'm like, do you remember
no one
Thor
remembers
2?
the Incredible Hulk.
It's not even on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because it's a Universal movie.
Oh.
They legally don't own it. They can't. Comedy. Can't wait for Marvel to be in Kingdom Hearts, dude. That'll be great.
That'll be great. I hope he's in Yozora World, too.
It's gonna be Doctor Strange.
I can't wait for the world of them to be in the world of fiction. Yozora and Sora are trapped, and then you just hear Tony Stark on like an intercom be like, "Get back, kid!" And then AC/DC starts playing. Iron Man shoots in, and Sora's like, "The world of fiction's crazy." And then Iron Man's like, "No, I followed you here. I'm from the real world." And then...
What even is the real world in Kingdom Hearts anymore?
I love how the concept is that all these worlds were connected once. So you're telling me that there was a place in time where fucking Toy Story and Frozen were in the same plane of reality, dude? Yeah.
Existed at the same time.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. I'm like, fucking Kingdom Hearts sucks, dude. Kingdom Hearts.
Can't wait for the next one.
Sucks. I also just realised that our background died because we're talking too much. So have fun editing that, Ethan. Oops.
Oh.
In fact, let me fix it for you.
End?
I was supposed to set it to loop, but I didn't because I'm great at editing our podcast.
Oh.
Hey, I said
Dipsy.
we said we keep things loose, and hey,
Yeah.
there you go. That's funny, but hey, do you know what? I think we've talked enough. I feel like we chatted enough shit today. I feel like
we learned a lot today.
It's been we talked a lot about a lot. It's been a fun time. We hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, I guess our links are on screen right now. You can go and follow us on social media if you like to see more things, like backgrounds not working and us talking about how much we hate Kingdom Hearts. Go and give us a follow. We'd appreciate it. But you know what else they can do if they don't want to do that, guys? They can go and follow us on Twitter for updates at Hot Gamers Only. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Hot Gamers Only. And hey, if you don't want to look at our stupid faces as we talk about Yuzora, you can go to your favorite podcast service, search for Hot Gamers Only, and find us on places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's just as simple as that. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's been fun. Who knows what we'll talk about next week? Back to the dry spell. Maybe we'll do Fantasy Critic. Who knows?
Oh boy.
If we can find Sam and Jack, yeah.
they're gone. They're as elusive as the fucking Kingdom Hearts timeline, dude. They're as elusive as that.
Kyle just wants to bring them into it so he doesn't have to be the last pick.
He just wants some easy, he wants security in the fact that he won't be last because he knows that Sam will give up halfway through the year and he knows that Jack will just make terrible decisions. So that's why.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. We'll see if we can make that happen next week.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll find something to talk about. 2022's been tragic so far in terms of gaming news. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will do something stupid when we stop recording.
Exactly. Should we just wait 5 minutes just in case?
Maybe Terry Crews will play Danganronpa again.
We can only hope. But yeah,
he'll be the one to save 2022.
Someone has to. We'll be back same time, same place next week for more. But hey, until then, have an awesome week. Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
Toodaloo.